Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our event called the Power of the Plants. My name is CynDee Novitch. I'm in Dover, Massachusetts with my husband, and we have 3 children in their 20s. And I'm a health coach. And I started on this journey with the Juice Plus and Terra Garden Company 9 years ago, really looking for a way for our kids to get more nutrition into their diets. And we've been doing this ever since. So excited to share this information. And I'm going to be speaking and introducing 2 of my good friends. They're now my good friends. I didn't know them before, but Betty Rose, who's going to share a little bit of her story on her cancer journey. She's doing amazingly well, and it's really a great story to hear. And Shandelin Anderson, who's the best aeroponic gardener I know, and she's going to share a really great presentation for you all. So at the end, we will do some Q&A, and I hope you really enjoy. If you have questions, you can put them in the chat. We'll answer them at the end. But thank you again for all joining. So I'm going to introduce the Juice Plus products. So just a little bit of background. The company's been around for over 50 years, but the plant powders, we call them, are dehydrated fruits, vegetables, and berries. And they come in a variety of 30 different plants. And so this is nutrition we need every day. It's very difficult to get, but this was created by a naturopathic doctor who was really helping sick patients of his feel better, get better. And so even though we can't say this can cure anything, we know that good nutrition helps with every disease, every issue. And I'm looking for longevity and just to feel good. So this has been flooding our bodies for over 9 years. So you're getting 10 fruits, 10 veggies, 10 berries in these, and it's picked at the peak of ripeness. We have our own farms that we use, and they pick it and they dehydrate it by taking out all the juice, all the sugar, and then it's dehydrated at a low temperature and then put into these powders and encapsulated. It has an NSF label on it. So if you don't know what that is, it's very tiny right there. NSF stands for National Sanitation Foundation, and it's a third party that makes sure what is on the label is in the product and that there are no contaminants whatsoever. So I like to say it's better than organic. And then we have a great program for kids. So for every adult that orders, a child can get the chewables, fruit and veggie chewables, or the fruit and veggie capsules for free. And they get it starting at the age of 4 years old all the way till 25. So that's 21 years of getting these amazing plant powders. We do have it in a berry form too. That is something that you would pay separate for, but really great. My husband and I take 4 of each one, 4 of the capsules every day, but on the label it says take 2. I say you take what you want, and we want to live long and just feel great. So we doubled ours. But that is the micronutrition. And then here we have the macronutrition. So this
CynDee,
is, yeah.
can I just jump in? Do you just want to mention, who can sponsor a child? Like, it doesn't have to be your kid. Could you just mention that? Because I think that's important.
Yeah, good call. So yeah, anyone can sponsor a child. It doesn't have to be your child, like Doug was saying. So for instance, we have 3 kids. Doug and I sponsored our boys, and my mom, grandma, sponsored our daughter. So it doesn't even have to be a relative, but that's a really good point. So it's just a way of getting all kids more of the nutrition.
Right.
So again, that is the micronutrition. And then this is the macro. So this is something that we can make as a smoothie. You can make energy bites. You can cook with it. There's a lot of different things. We have tons of recipes, but there's 13 grams of protein, 7 grams of fiber, and 1 gram of fat. So it can be for me, it's a meal replacement, but it can be just a snack or something to do pre or post workout. And we also have another protein. This is our newest one called the Perform, and it's got 25 grams of protein. So a lot of athletes love to use this, especially as a post-workout. The Olympic athletes that are practicing at in Charlotte, North Carolina at our performance center are all offered the Juice Plus products. So they're clean, they're safe, they're really good. And it's helped my kids with their athletic performance. And everyone that takes this will notice, you know, over time, good things can happen. And just for my own story, I'll share that I had more energy. My seasonal allergies went away. My son weaned off of ADHD meds. Our daughter has not taken any anxiety meds. It's really helped her with her anxiety. And it helped too my kids with their irregularity. They don't want me sharing, but I do share it because that really is important and a lot of people struggle with it. Skin and teeth and gums, and immune support. So we have been healthy, rarely seeing the doctor for sick visits. So we just are super grateful for this. And, you know, everyone is on their own health journey. So it's just a way of getting more of the good stuff in every day. So I would love to turn this over to Betty, if you could unmute and share your story.
Trying to unmute. There we go. All right. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Um, so my journey kind of started with Shandelin. She and I actually met at a knit shop, a local knit shop here in the area in Fredericksburg. And she was teaching a weaving class, and I decided to take this weaving class, and she and I became like fast and furious friends. I mean, it's just we hit it off right away. And one day she knew that I had been struggling. She'd heard about my cancer journey. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2013, and then I had a reoccurrence. And I think it was 19 was my reoccurrence. And so she said, you know, Betty, you really should try this. So I did, you know, I went ahead and I was hesitant at first, but then I said, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. And so, and it's been a godsend. So it's made the world of difference in my scans, in my blood work. The proof is, you know, is in there. I mean, that my oncologist is thrilled with Juice Plus, and I'm on a study with other women, and he said that my blood work is actually better than any of the other women. So he's very impressed with how Juice Plus has made a difference. Um, and then I noticed that Shaunalyn was starting to post these other pictures of this tower. And I was very intrigued by it because my husband and I, we garden a little bit. We don't have a huge garden, but we always had like a small garden. And it was getting harder and harder for tilling and things like that. So, well, my husband, and so I said, you know, what is this thing? What are you doing? Is this another business? She's no, this is Juice Plus. And I said, what? So I said, well, I want one of these. So I ended up getting a tower. And then I ended up posting pictures on Facebook. And the next thing you know, I had people, where did you get this? What is this? I want one too. And that's just kind of how it started. And so I became a partner. And one of my partners here right now, Linda Tucker, she was one of the ones. I hadn't seen Linda in 10 years. We kept up in, you know, with Facebook, but when she saw that tower, she was just fascinated, and she just knew that she wanted one too. And then we became partners, and it just kind of grew from there. So yeah,
Wow.
it's been an amazing journey.
Thank you so much, Betty. And that's what we say, that, you know, we aren't friends in the beginning, but we could become friends and it becomes a franchise. So it's super fun, and grateful for you and your story, Betty. And so glad you're doing well. It's amazing. Shandelin, do you want to start off with your amazing presentation and share your?
Sure. It's telling me one person can present at a time.
I mean, I'm not. You can't share your screen?
It's not letting me.
Okay, hang on a minute. Let me see something.
Well, she's co-host. Do you want to take me away as co-host? If
I'm just making her the host. Did
okay,
that
perfect.
one?
Oh, there we go. So my name is Shandelin Anderson. I currently live in Arizona. I've been here a whole 2 months now, and I have been an avid gardener for over 30 years. And I had a friend who sent me a video of the tower garden, and I kind of kept brushing it off, and we put in our beds. These were my raised beds in our house that we just moved from. And every year we spent all this time cultivating these beds and making sure they were ready to plant. And so when I had the opportunity to look at this video that she was sending me, I was intrigued because I was like, what is that? That's kind of cool. And so I wanted one. And I thought, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get one. And it showed up at the house. And it's not like sneaking in a pair of shoes when you're ordering something that your husband doesn't know about. He pulled up the same time the UPS truck was dropping off all of these huge boxes out in front of my house. So he was like, "What did you buy?" And I'm like, "Just wait, you'll see." And so I started growing in the tower garden, and I planted some of the same plants that I had out in my raised beds. And I started just documenting the process. And so I was making these videos, and I was so fascinated with this tower and how quickly it grows. It's a vertical aeroponic growing system. So you can grow your own produce without the space and the time commitment of traditional gardening. You can still grow a wide variety of plants, both inside and out. It only takes up at a maximum a 3-foot circumference. So all you need is a 3-foot circle someplace, whether it's in your house or on your deck, to grow. You grow 30% more, 3 times faster, with 98% less water. And this is how it works.
Tower Garden's state-of-the-art aeroponic vertical garden system uses both water and air to produce more colorful, better tasting, and incredibly nutritious fruits, vegetables, and herbs. Tower Garden has a 20-gallon reservoir at its base that stores the Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Developed by experts in plant and human nutrition, Tower Tonic Mineral Blend enables superior plant growth and better nutrition from your Tower Garden produce. The process begins once the seedlings have been placed in your tower garden. Here they will be nourished with Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Inside the reservoir is a small, low-wattage submersible pump. The pump pushes the nutrient solution up through the tower to the top. From there, the nutrient solution drips through the central tower using a special device that evenly cascades the solution over the exposed plant roots. On the journey down the tower, the nutrient solution feeds the roots and becomes highly oxygenated as it cascades gently down the reservoir. This process is continuous, providing fresh oxygen, water, and nutrients to the roots of the plants. This patented aeroponic process enables food crops to grow faster than they would in soil, so they can be harvested more often. And it makes Tower Garden the healthier, easier, smarter way to grow your produce.
So here's some pictures of what my tower garden looked like the first year. I'm telling you, it was mind blowing. I felt like that stuff was growing in front of my eyes. It was growing so fast. And by the time I got to November, my tower was still full with collard greens and kale and all kinds of things. So I didn't want to pull it down. And so I thought, well, I'm going to just order another one. So I got another one and started that one inside. And when the other one finally, it was too cold, I went ahead and cleaned it up, brought it inside. And this is growing all inside down in my basement. And so I grew everything from tomatoes, peppers, all kinds of herbs, all kinds of lettuces, cucumbers, broccoli. I did broccoli one year, asparagus. You name it. I was like growing it inside. But what I like about the tower garden is you have 2 options. You've got a home that's a little bit smaller and more compact, and then you've got a flex. And so those are the 2 models. They both have the capability to add additional ports to them if you want more growing area. You can grow inside and out with both of these models. So it just depends on your personal preference. I get a lot of questions about the lights. The lights are pretty energy efficient. All the lights on the Tower Garden draw a wattage of about 125 watts. And so I tracked my utility bill just to see how much extra it was for me to run my Tower Garden inside. And it was about $6 a month that I noticed the difference in the utility bill. But as far as growing inside, you want to have the lights. You've got to have the lights. You may have a sunroom and it gets lots of natural light in that room, but it's not enough to grow inside and get the type of produce that you want. When you think about our windows at home, they've got UV filters in them that block out the harmful UV rays for us, but those are the things that those plants need to really thrive. And so it's blocking a lot of what happens outside naturally with Mother Nature. Tower gardening is easy. It was so easy to put that thing together, and it's easy to maintain. You can move it around if you've got, bad weather coming in, just slide it in the garage or just pull it underneath a covering outside. There's no digging, there's no weeds, there's no dirt. You're not having to lean over to do anything. It's probably the easiest gardening I have ever done. And if you have manicures, your manicure stays a lot longer than it does if you have to dig in the dirt. Growing in a tower garden is produce picked at the peak of ripeness. I don't pick off the tower garden until I'm ready to eat it. And typically I will pick off that tower garden every evening for whatever produce we want to have to go with our meals. Your produce is more nutrient dense. It truly is tower to table. And when I'm growing inside, I pull it right off the tower garden. I chop it up and put it right on the plate. I don't even wash it. You can taste a difference. What happens on that tower garden is miraculous. Like I said, we just moved here. I had my tower gardens packed up at the end of December, and I just now got them replanted a couple of weeks ago. And I am so excited to have fresh produce again. The other thing about growing in the tower garden is I say that it's better than organic. When you think about buying organic produce in the grocery store, that produce still has to be picked long before it's ripe to get to the grocery store so that it looks halfway decent for you to want to buy it. And when it's transported, you can't control the environment in which it's transported. So it may be piled into a truck that's got a chemically treated tarp that is going to keep that produce from ripening in transit. So I always say that it's better than organic, but I like how it tastes. It definitely tastes different. And when you think about, if you go to the grocery store and you put that produce in the bins in your refrigerator, I always say that those fruit and vegetable bins in the refrigerator is a graveyard for vegetables to go to die. Because sometimes you'll go down there and you'll pick up lettuce that's already slimy that you bought from the store, and you're like, gosh, I've only had this a few days and it's already gone bad. If at any time you have to pick produce off of the tower garden and put it in your refrigerator, it lasts for weeks before it starts going bad. So just another plus. Schools are using them for STEM programs. You've got tower garden farms that are popping up in the desert and all over the place for people who have a hard time getting fresh produce. You can have it on your back deck. Businesses are using them to provide for restaurants. It's like farm to table type restaurants. So there's lots of uses for the tower garden. It provides a means for educating children. There's studies that are showing increased academic performance. Kids get to connect with nature. And it teaches personal responsibility, and it boosts confidence and pride. Now, you don't have to be a kid to have that happen. I have that every day when I pull off my tower garden and I put food on the table for my family. I'm like, I grew that, and it tastes better than what you can buy in the store. So the tower garden is a way for families to bond. Kids enjoy learning, and you don't have to have a green thumb. You don't have to have anything but the ability to read and follow instructions. Put that thing together, put the nutrients in the bottom of it, and it just almost does everything itself. I like that it's all automated. We've got an affordability slide here, and what I like about this is the tower garden depending on what you grow and how much you grow, can pay for itself in as little as 6 months. And that's what mine did. But when you look at the amount of produce that you get off of a tower garden versus what you buy in the grocery store, the cost savings is enormous. So if you think about like a bunch of Swiss chard, you get about 5 or 6 stalks in the store, and they're not always that big. When I'm pulling Swiss chard off of my tower garden, the leaves are so big, they're literally covering my entire face. And the plant that I have in the tower garden, when I pulled it out, it had been in there 6 months. I'd been picking off the same plant for 6 months. So it does make growing in the tower garden more affordable in the long run. It's an investment up front, but you're investing in your health. And after a while, it's just doing all the work. So when you look at the cost of the tower garden home with lights, when you break it down per week, it's $18.21 a week. Or if you're looking at the flex, that one breaks down to $19.13 a week. When I first bought my tower garden, I took that out of my weekly budget when I went to the grocery store. But it breaks down to the ridiculous, because if you think about, if you go to Starbucks and you're spending almost $6 for a cup of coffee, it's $2.80 a day to grow in your tower garden, which to me is fantastic. I mean, you can't beat that. And that's my presentation. Everybody should own a tower garden. That's how I feel. I'm like, everybody should own one. I have 5. You could own 5 too. So,
I know, Shandelin, you're like, it's like your shoes, you're buying more and more.
oh yeah. If I had my way, my whole garage would be filled with tower gardens right now. But you know, my husband draws a line somewhere. So
Oh my God, thank you so much. I love how you get it down to, as you say, the ridiculous, how inexpensive it is to grow this produce. And it's the gift that keeps giving. So it's people give it as wedding gifts and birthday gifts, and it's very fun. It's a very fun gift to give. But just as a wrap up, I want to thank you guys all for being on the call. As I said, when we end the recording, we can have a Q&A, but if you had some takeaways from this, I hope that you will, consider, getting with the person who invited you on the call. And if you want to order the Tower Gardener Juice Plus, we can share a lot more information if you have questions on it. But we would love to have you as a customer. But if you are interested at all in partnering with us, we have an amazing group of people we work with, and the only way you learn about this is through others. And this month, you can sign up as a partner for $10 and you'll get a discount on your products. And there's a lot more growth that can be had with it, but you get a lot of education. I think that's one of the biggest things. I love the education we get from the doctors talking about Juice Plus, or healthcare professionals, to the gardeners that share information like Shandelin. And we're all happy to swap seeds and do events at our homes. So if you're local to us, we would put you on our list and invite you. So thank you again for joining, and I'm going to stop the recording, I think.